Hey everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb, and welcome to the ARTyRV channel tonight. We're so happy to be here. I'm so happy to see everyone
It's Monday.
tonight. It's finally Monday, right? Oh no, it's Monday. So yes, it's finally Monday and we all get to meet, and it's a beautiful sunshiny day here in South Carolina. It got up to 86 degrees today.
Which was like 50 degrees too hot.
Yes, it was. It was
It
a
was
nice
really
cool
warm
70
today.
in the house.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, it was warm. Oh, I got an itch, Barb. Hold on.
Okay, so anyway, are you okay now?
Yeah,
Is
my
everything
scissors,
okay?
it worked out good
All right,
on me.
great. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, wow, Barb, we
So
got full
professional.
house again tonight. That's
Oh, yes.
awesome. Thank
Yes,
you guys
it
for
is.
tuning in tonight. We'll get right to some questions here shortly. And
Yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about some of
Floor
those.
planning?
Yeah, we got a lot of new things about floor planning, but for the new shop. But we're making big progress on the new shop.
oh, wow, yeah.
We had the gutters fixed this week, so no more water running into
Yeah, it
the.
was funny because the day after we had the gutters fixed, we had like monstrous tsunamis would go through in the evening. And for the first time in a long time, inside the garage was not wet.
Right, it was what. So what it was doing, it was just when it would rain, it would just back up. It wouldn't flood the garage or anything, but just wet enough to make it dirty, and you'd have to clean it up, and it's just a mess. So now they
Doesn't
put
do
in
that.
big, heavy-duty gutters, and we're good to go.
Well, and they added a downspout, and then
Yeah.
they pushed the water to the middle
Out
of the
the
driveway,
driveway.
instead of up against the. Well, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, so
so you have to watch it, guys.
We might do a little live stream this weekend coming up and show you our messy garage.
Yeah, but I'll
Freak
tell you,
y'all
well,
out.
And then the other thing about it, guys, because of your kindness and your donations, we went ahead and signed a contract on getting the heating and air put in the garage this week too.
Yeah.
So that'll be in about 10 days, I think. So
Yeah. So
we're moving right
Yeah,
along.
we're moving right along. We're personally going to pay for
the heating and air.
the heating and air since it is in our personal home, and then what we'll do, and this is how it works legally. What we do is then we take off the use of the house off of our taxes, our personal taxes every year.
Well, because the
So you have to
garage
be
is going to be
careful
our
about
office.
how you.
Garage will be our office now.
Yeah, the garage will be our
Instead of
YouTube
our living
space, and I'll still have an office in the house, but you can only take up to a certain amount and
So much space.
so
yeah.
much space. And so it works out pretty good for the YouTube channel to have it here at the house.
Yeah, so we were
tax-wise.
looking in the garage today. We're like, I think we're going to have to bring 2 tents home from the shop in order to put everything in the garage underneath of a tent so that we can sort it out and get the floor ready to go. So,
Yeah, so we have 2 tents coming
yep.
from the shop.
Yeah, we don't have to rent them. We own them.
So we have 2 tents coming. We'll move everything out of the garage, just like when you watch Hoarders. That's what we're going to do. We're gonna
Except we're not going to put it in
dump
our
our
front yard.
hoard.
Our neighbors will run us off.
We're going to dump our hoard, and we have a lot of cool stuff we're just going to give away to the
Goodwill.
Goodwill, yes.
Yeah,
And
that's Goodwill.
Texas Tom just
hey,
made a
buddy.
$10
Hey, man, I want to
donation.
welcome you back to the
Yeah,
house,
I've
too.
seen you
'cause-
on Facebook, but I haven't seen you
Yeah.
here.
And it
Thanks
looks
for coming
like
back.
it looks like the project that you've been working on is coming along just fine. That's
Here, honey,
I'll get it. I'm sorry.
get it for us. There you
Ready
go.
and
Thank you, Texas
here we
Tom.
go.
We appreciate you.
We got that light working.
So good to see you back.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. Hey, everybody, Ray's in the house tonight. Let's give him a big thumbs up because he's working much harder than you guys think that he is. And he does do an awful lot for Barb and I and for all of our viewers. So, Ray, thank you for everything you do, and we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you so
Let's
much,
put a pretty
Ray.
blue up there. There we go.
There we
How's
go.
that?
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So we have a couple questions, but we'll wait a few minutes.
Let everybody jump in the
Let
house.
everybody jump in, and then we'll run through the questions, and we'll do some cutting demos tonight, and we'll get into our the common mistakes that a lot of people make.
Not
that
most, but when you
lot of
get
people
started,
make.
they're common mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll do that. I also put a link to our video, mistakes, avoid these mistakes. So the link to that avoid mistakes video is in the description of
Right.
the live stream, if you want to check that
Well,
out
and
later.
the thing about it is, too, Barb, when you talk about mistakes or when you go away to like when we go away to glass blowing school, they tell us is that we have bad habits. So I think a lot of people that do stained glass, they create their own bad habits. But I will tell you this, that everyone's technique is different, but and most people that develop their own techniques, that technique works for them. So, I'm going to give you a pointer on this and somebody else will give you a pointer. But the whole thing it boils down to is that you need to find what works for you. And like some people, not everybody holds the glass cutter like I do. Some people hold it between their fingers like this. Mm-hmm. Some people hold it like this with both hands, and I've seen that. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You know what the thing about it is, and we've talked about it before, is that if your glass cutter is comfortable in your hand and it's not giving you fatigue after just cutting one or two pieces of glass, then you're good,
Right. Well, we can start in now since you've already started on that. Let's just go through a few of them and then we'll get into the questions. How about that?
If you say so.
Okay.
Ray, I just want to say, Ray, it was nice talking to you today too, by the way. You and Susie.
Yes. Someone said they found Samara. Samara said she went to, let me see where that, I saw that message. I just want to share it with everyone. For jump rings and went to Joann's Fabrics. Samara said she went to Joann's Fabrics, which is closing. I think they're closing all over the U.S. She found a great sales on chains and jump rings and rope. So
okay, that's cool.
That might be a good place to go.
Yeah. So be careful, because if your jump rings are made of nickel, they won't solder. So.
Okay. For planning and design.
Oh.
That's one of the things that.
Well, that's one of the things that. Sadly enough, it's
frustrating
usually,
if you don't do it.
Yeah, or you usually learn by mistakes.
Yeah.
You learn not to do that again.
Right.
And but poor planning, and well, for instance, let's say I think a good design of a window was, say, Carol Radkin's the iris last week. Mm-hmm. You notice that her points went to the end and they didn't have anything coming off of them. So there were no, Carol, this is for you. There were no unnecessary lines. And Barbara and I both, after the show, we were like, that's exactly how a window is supposed to look. And I do want to let everybody know that if you caught the viewer showcase last week, that top left-hand corner, and go back and watch it later on this week, but the top left-hand corner of Carol Radkin's window, and and we all, because she let us know that she did get a saw, but she sent Barbara and I an email and let us know that the saw didn't even come into play with that top left-hand corner piece of glass on Carol Radkin's iris. So she cut it all out by hand and using the down and away technique. And I was like, I got goosebumps when she said that. Carol, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, thank you, Carol.
And thank you for doing that by hand the old-fashioned way, exactly how it was supposed to be done.
And I think that a lot of people, you're going to make mistakes when you're first learning. And so you should really use patterns that you know that are going to work instead of drawing your own. And then work your way up to drawing your own. And you're going to make mistakes to begin with. You're going to start doing things and you're going to say, why did I put that line in there?
Yeah. And a lot of the reason that when you take a beginner stained glass class, they don't let you just come in and draw whatever you feel like and work on it for the weekend, because that right there is not the way that you learn. The way you learn is we do a pattern and everybody picks one of 3 patterns. And all of those patterns are designed to teach you about structural integrity, about how windows go together and so that they don't come apart. And and where your lines should and shouldn't go, and how to eliminate lines, in fact, if you really don't need them there. A lot of lines that you see in drawings of beginner students or beginner stained glassers, I would say are unnecessary. But they make the cuts easier for you as you're learning, and that takes a lot of the stress away from you, don't you think? So if your cuts are easier, the frustration lessens, and then you are able to create more glass. And then as you do that, I think you learn to connect the dots unintentionally. That's what I call it. Connect the dots.
I think if you know, and study other work, study of the masters, study Tiffany windows, look at all the old windows, or an artist that you really, really admire. Look at their windows and study, instead of studying the color and the design, study the lead lines.
Look at
just
the lines,
lead lines and what they do to further convey what the artist is trying to say in the window.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you take
It's just
any
ongoing process.
right, any windows that are designed, even I tell you what, even the medieval windows. Look at where they put their lines. It's really they even put a lot of thought of them back in the 13 and 1400s. You know, so.
Okay, let's take a couple questions, and
If
then
that's
we'll
what
go
you
back
choose.
to that.
I saw one there, and I'm not sure. It wasn't a queue in front of it. It was somebody trying to
Okay.
get away from paste flux and go to
Okay.
liquid flux.
Mary Beth asked, how do you secure the glass in the bookends and wooden frame door corners? Frank has a router bit for channels, but we don't know how to get the glass to stay in place.
Just clear silicone, Mary Beth. That's if you're going to do bookends. Now, corners in the curtains at the top, they make a special bracket for those. But if you're going to do bookends, clear silicone will hold them, because once that silicone sets up, there's one thing that it sticks really well to, and that is wood and glass.
Okay.
So, for that person that you're switching over from paste flux, which is really nasty stuff, we use and recommend to our viewers the Ruby flux, and it is a water-based flux. It's very strong, and we've been using it in our studio for over 30 years. And I was turned on to it by another stained glass artist, and we haven't switched since. We like it.
What's that?
Ruby flux.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, it's the color of Barbara's glasses.
Did I ask that question yet?
No, it wasn't up there as a cue. I just saw it. They didn't put a cue in front of it. It was a new viewer.
Okay, so you answered that one.
Yeah.
Then?
If you
That
say
was
it
from
again.
Karen Heath. Thank you,
Oh,
Karen,
hey,
for
Karen.
the question.
Was
We
it?
appreciate
Okay.
it. Okay, you want to take this job and I'll take yours?
No. But I do want you to kiss me. Kiss me,
I
kiss
couldn't
me,
do
kiss me.
your job, I swear. Okay, another question.
No, because never mind.
What? I'd say, Ed, what is the answer?
I get so scattered
I know, you're scattered.
sometimes.
That's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
honey.
Texas
Yeah, I
Tom,
forgive.
welcome back in the house again.
Okay. And Texas Tom says the project he's working on has some lead in it. Should I solder all the non-lead and then add the lead?
I would get everything. Yeah, I think I would put everything together. Get the lead ready, put that all in there, and then solder everything all at one time. I think, Tom, that might be the best way to go. That's
Yeah.
great that you're mixing it up. We can't wait to see it. We look forward to seeing that window for the viewer showcase, Tom, when you finish it, buddy.
Okay. Gardner. Gardner F. Have you heard anything good about Technoglass, the foiler? There are videos of it, and it looks to work well and look fun.
Okay, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and we're waiting on it. Now, this is what I understand. So the Technoglass foiler these guys do everything first class. If you have one of their grinders, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the Technoglass foiler, instead of a 36-yard roll of foil, they're gonna be making a 22-yard foil that fits inside. It's kind of like you're gonna load this thing like a. Let me think of what it is.
It's a handheld
It's a
foiler
handheld
that
foiler,
just
and you
moves
just
along
drive
the
it around.
glass.
But they also have a clamp that fits on your bench to hold it down so that you can use it like a benchtop foiler. So it has 3 different heads that come with it. I believe it's an orange one, a blue one, and a green one, and they are for 3/16, 7/32, and 1/4 inch foil. So you just change the head out, and it looks like it. I've got, I've talked to my supplier and told them that I'm ready for one, and I hope that as soon as we get it, we'll be trying it out. And the video is excellent on it. Like I said, Technoglass, they're first class company on their tools. So, and they're made right here in this country, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, so I think you'll like it. Yeah, we've seen it. We're looking at. We're going to buy one as soon as it's available. I know of one company that has them.
Right, but I'm not. Yeah.
I don't know what the price is going to be on Amazon.
Right.
They're pretty pricey right now. That price will probably drop a little.
It'll probably drop a little bit. It's kind of like medications, once they relieve everything and get some of their money back, then they drop the price. But right now, the retail on it's going to be, somewhere between $80 and $100. But I promise you, guys, Ed and Barb are going to buy one, and we're going to tell you what we like and dislike about it. And just from watching the video, I can already tell you that I like it.
I don't know how it's going to work on small pieces like for lamps and things. That's just going to we'll check it out. We'll do a video about it, and we'll let you all know as soon as we know.
Yeah.
Carol wants to know, Ed, can you please talk about the protective sleeves you wear?
Well, I got a bag of them today, and today I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know what? The high school that I went to here, our colors were black and gold. And I didn't mean to dress up like my high school colors. But
he was feeling young.
I was feeling young today, and I feel young every day, Barb. But so my sleeves, what I do is, y'all, from blowing glass, my skin gets, as I've gotten older, my skin gets thinner, and those of you that are, our age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when I'm blowing glass or doing repair work, I wear these sleeves because I get my arms tore up. I don't pay a lot of attention to like dropping solder on them or something, and I wear these sleeves. I wear them to work during the day, but I also wear them during the show here, and because my arms, y'all, after 40 years plus of doing this, my arms are really beat up, and I don't want you to notice how beat up my arms are, so I wear these very colorful sleeves.
He wears them when he's working to keep his arms cleaner, and
I don't if I'm soldering, I wear them, so I don't lay my arms in flux or anything. But I will tell you a little secret about flux and soldering and your sleeves is if you'll start soldering at the top and work your way to the bottom, you don't stick your elbows in it. But I'll find sometimes I'll even actually take the skin off my elbow accidentally just by laying my arm on the window and scooting it around. So anyway, I beat myself up.
These are great for yard work too. You know how when you stick your hand in the bushes, you get these little cuts. Those are great for yard work.
And in the South, in our yard,
for anyone.
And but in our yard, Barb and I have these palm trees, and these palm trees have thorns on them. And right now, my arms are tore up from trimming bushes, and that's why I'm wearing these. But I wear them all the time, and I wear them. I got a whole bag of them in the mail yesterday. I ordered a dozen of them, and they came in yesterday. So I pulled a pair of yellow ones out tonight.
Barbara Cadwell said, "Who drew that pattern?"
That's right, Barb.
Okay.
Who drew that pattern, baby?
Okay. Mary Beth says, thank you. We're trying to come up with some more types of items beyond just flat window wall pieces. Okay.
Well, the bookends I think will work great if you've got, and use the silicone and be very sparingly with it. You don't want to stick your glass in there, Mary Beth, and have it ooze out. That's one thing you don't want to do. So, and they do make what they call a crystal clear silicone. It's about $50 for a tube, but you'll get a lot of bookends out of a tube. So.
Okay, there was one thing. Tips for grinding bevels. Don't.
Don't. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Those bevels are all made overseas, and they are not.
Why do you have to grind it? Why would you have to grind it?
Well,
I would use sandpaper on the side. I don't think I'd hit it on the grinder.
A lot of the bevels don't even fit the pattern that come with it. So you do have to clean them up. But grinding on your grinder is not really a good way to do it. So if you do need to grind the bevels, what I would suggest you do is to put a piece of contact paper on the bevel underneath, because they're very soft and they scratch quite easily. And your grinder will just ruin a bevel if you're not careful.
So be careful about the glass chips on your table and on your grinder, because
Right.
you scoot it and it just
And
you see it. They're so clear and sparkly. You see it in the light.
Right.
You may not see it until the window goes in.
Right. So be real careful with it. If you're going to grind a bevel, I suggest you attach some sort of laminate to the underside before you start grinding it on your grinder.
Right. Okay. Do you use ruby flux for lead as well as copper?
I do, yes. And you'll find it's so easy to work with.
Okay. Where do you get okay, Carol asked, where do you get those sleeves? They're on our Amazon page.
They are, and they're in 12 packs.
I think they're in the health and safety section.
Health and safety section, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 12 really pretty colors. Kind of like Easter colors, I think they are. A real pretty blue.
Carol, if they're not there, sometimes they get out of stock, but if they're not there, I'll find them tomorrow and put them in. But I'm pretty sure they're there.
We're talking about Easter already. Can
Yeah,
you
we're
believe
talking
it?
about Easter.
Yesterday was Palm Sunday.
I know. Let's show them our Easter egg.
Our Easter egg? We made this before we shut the furnace down. This is our Easter egg.
It's a pretty big one. The
Happy
bunny
Easter.
was pretty big.
It was a big rabbit. And they brought us
He
a
collected big eggs.
He collected big egg. That's why it was a big egg for Big Ed. So anyway,
happy
this is
Easter,
really
everyone.
pretty. I just thought we just wanted to bring this home and show it to you. So this egg is sandblasted, and then we put a chemical on it that doesn't allow your fingerprints to stick to it. When you etch glass and then you touch it, the oil from your skin gets on it. But we put this chemical on here and rub it in and allow it to dry, and then we don't have that problem. But there's a really pretty Easter egg, y'all. Happy Easter, everyone.
Yes.
I'll set that right here.
Okay. Ben wants to know, is it better to paint zinc framing or patina? My opinion on that is to paint it. If you want a black frame, paint it black. If you want a gray frame, paint it gray.
Right, and if you want a blue suit, turn on the blue light. Mm-hmm. No, I agree with Barbara. I think painting it, because now they do make a patina for zinc. Okay, they make a black patina for zinc, but whether you're using the patina or you're going to paint it, the main thing about zinc is because it's an extruded metal, it's got oil on it, and it needs to be cleaned thoroughly so that whatever you're putting on it sticks. Okay, and I would say if you're going to paint it, I would even go as far as sanding it, rough up the metal, and maybe even prime it, or use a spray paint with a primer in it already, like Rust-Oleum makes all that stuff now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
if
you would paint that before you.
Yeah, you could paint it before you attach it to your window.
Well, you have to solder it, though.
Yeah, then you got to solder it. So, yeah, you know what I would do?
Yeah, you just need to cover it.
Yeah,
with
just cover
paper.
it. Right.
Yep. Okay. We usually frame ours in wood. But yeah,
so
we've had to do zinc before.
Oh yeah, we've had
For
to.
different reasons, and we've painted that frame. A lot of times when they come into the studio and we're repairing them because the little hooks tend to come off on the corner,
We'll put them in a wooden frame.
we'll
after
put them in
that.
a wooden frame for them. Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone says the egg is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Dennis wants to know suggestions for the first time cutting a 12-inch stained glass circle.
Well, of course, you want to get a good circle cutter, and there is a circle cutter on our Amazon page under our tools page. But so what you want to make sure that you do, I don't have a circle cutter here with me, Dennis, but what you want to make sure that you do is they have a vacuum cup on them that you can lock down. And what I like to do is set your circle cutter to 12 inches, which is 6 inches, and then lock that down. Take a paper towel with a little bit of cutter oil on it, put it under the wheel, and then just run that around the glass and let the glass get oil on it, and then re-stick the bumper that holds the circle cutter in place. Re-stick that, push it down, and don't go any further than when it stops on the end. You'll hear it go click and then stop. Don't run over top of the score. And then flip it over and push it down with your watch the circle cutter video on our website, and it'll teach you how to do it.
Yeah, we have several circle cutting videos in our shorts.
We do.
So just go to our shorts videos,
One
do
of my
a
shorts
search.
right here. No,
Do a search. We don't want to see your shorts.
okay.
Not those shorts. And do a search, and then, you're just a bundle of laughs tonight. I swear. Listen to them.
Oh, sorry, honey.
That's okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, Dennis, the best thing to do is of course
Thank you, Ray.
is have a nice circle cutter.
Yeah.
Ray just put those up for us.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ray put one up.
Ray,
for us.
thank you very much. Hey, Larry Mary's in the house. Hey, Larry.
Les wants to know, Ed, do you like to mix lead and foil in a project?
I do. I enjoy it because it gives it some dimension, and a lot of times some pieces are so small that if you put lead around them, they'll disappear. So guys, you can have fun mixing the two processes together, I think.
Okay, one more thing when people are first starting out that we've noticed is too much pressure on the glass cutter.
Oh gosh, yeah. We had a really nice compliment this week about that very same thing, Barb.
That's right.
And they said, I can't believe that all these years I've been putting way too much pressure on my glass cutter. And I started cutting my glass the way you explained it, and everything started coming out much better, and it increased my confidence. So I want to say kudos to you. Thanks for watching those videos. And I'm glad that we can help. If we can help one person, y'all, we can help everybody. So.
Yeah, it makes it worthwhile.
And it does. It actually is just like, 8 pounds of pressure.
Low cost.
Low cost.
Low
Oh,
cost.
hey.
Thank you, low cost.
Thank you, Loka. Hope everything's well in Canada tonight. Thank you very much.
Nice. We appreciate you
We
guys.
do. We really appreciate it. So yeah, guys, we got the gutters fixed this week. That was real. The guy came to look at them, and he said, "Well, we'll just fix that right now." And I was,
And air conditioner goes in this week as well. So we'll give you an update. Things are moving pretty fast, and we're excited.
Next will be the floor painting. If anybody wants to come down and help us paint the floor, come on.
Yeah, we saved some money. Well, we didn't really save some money.
Well, we did because we're paying for the air conditioning. Personally.
Yeah. Yes, so we don't need to. Well, there's other things that we need.
Right. So we still guys on the budget end of the renovation.
We're right on.
We're right on schedule.
Yeah, we're right on
And
schedule.
I think that once we finish everything out, I think right now we still need about $3,100, and then we'll have made our $5,000 goal. And then we'll be able to finish the studio.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. Okay, so let's see.
And you remember, guys, when we grow, you grow.
And we can't do it without you guys.
No,
And we
we
really
can't.
appreciate all the great comments this week. And
Oh,
I have
gosh.
emails I haven't even answered. I have tomorrow's my little heart procedure, and I can't wait because I'm excited now. I'm looking forward to it. I'll have more energy. I'll be able to take care of Ed a little bit better.
Heart procedure. Heart procedure.
And
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. Hey guys, you know what? After midnight tonight, she can't eat or
I
drink
can't eat
anything,
anything.
and her procedure is not till noon tomorrow. We got to check in at noon. That means about 1:30.
yeah, so
And but
I'm
we
already
are,
planning tomorrow night's meal.
yeah, and we are taking a overnight bag with us just in case, because it's gonna be a late day. They might want to
No,
keep
they
her.
won't keep me. I'll be done just like that.
You're out of
Okay.
here.
Samurai has a question.
Okay.
When the glass varies in thickness, do you start on the back with the front all aligned?
When the same piece of glass varies in
I
thickness.
think she means when her glasses vary in thickness.
Well, if you're doing copper foil and your glasses vary in thickness, that's fine, because when you solder it all together, you don't really even notice that because you're beating your solder. Now, you would notice it dramatically if, in fact, you were just flat soldering it. You would notice the hoop-de-doos. But even if the glass is a little bit higher, when you bead that up, it's not noticeable, because you'll find, like, this window that I'm working on now, it seems like every piece of glass I pick up is a different thickness, but that's okay, and it's a challenge to cut it, it's a challenge to fabricate it, and it'll be a challenge to finish it. So.
Okay, Dennis wants to know, can it be too cold to cut glass?
The cold doesn't bother the glass. It's the heat that really bothers the glass. The glass is really doesn't the temperature, as far as coldness of it, doesn't like make it brittle or anything like that. What happens is when glass is hot and you go to cut it, it's expanding too fast and it breaks differently. A lot of times if glass is too hot, when you go to break it, it breaks like that. And when it does that, and you can tell a heat crack if you've ever seen a candle sitting on a tabletop and the glass broke, and you notice it went kind of like in a circle, and then it went into a hook, and that's a heat crack. So trying to cut glass that's been in the sun is not recommended. Okay, because what happens too is when it's in the sun, is part of it gets hot and part of it doesn't, and that temperature variance will cause you to not get a correct break on the glass. Even though it sounds like a good score, it probably won't break correctly.
Okay, there was another question, and I can't find it.
Because my glass cutting shop is not heated, and neither is my stained glass studio. It's not heated either. So when I go to the back to get glass, I just bring it up front or put it on the table in the back and cut it. But I do have that dilemma that I worry about with the heat in the summertime. So.
Okay. If there's a question you asked and I haven't asked it yet,
Hang on, slow down. I'll try to
Please,
help you find it. I can't see that fast.
please repost it because I can't find it if I've missed your question. Okay. Okay. Creator's brand makes a good tool called a palm runner for putting pressure on the other side of your cut on a sheet. Moves the pressure to your palm instead of your finger.
Okay, so this is kind of that same idea. This is the afterburner. This allows the pressure to go into your palm, just like this, and it's called the afterburner. It also is on our tool page on our Amazon, and it actually comes with this cutter, this afterburner hand tool comes with this cutter that has a wide head on it. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Okay. All right, I'll look for that while we're doing something else. Let's do some glass demos. Mr.
What?
Streeter, cut some glass, will you?
I got a really pretty glass I want to share with everybody, and I tried to find the part number on this, and I couldn't find it for anything. But what I did is I brought some glass home that reminds me of Easter. And the first little piece of glass that I brought home is this. Now I do know the number of this. This is a 329, okay? This is a 329-2. This is the Spectrum, y'all. This is the Spectrum. And what I did is I just broke some 6x6s and brought them home. I lay out my running pliers here. And I'm also going to lay out my Lepinette grousers, my special grousers. I love these things right here. They're just really, they feel good in my hand, and I like them. I like them a lot. So we all know that Spectrum glass cuts really, really easy. So let's just, this is my silver snit. This is the 2000, y'all, right here. And remember, this head doesn't depress or anything. So if you're used to using a cutter where the head depresses, this might mess you up a little bit, but if you've used it long enough, you should have already got in your head and in your hand the amount of pressure. So listen to this. And that's just a nice. Now look at that. We started that run right there, just like that. See that? So, and a good way, I'm just going to come in behind the run with my grousing pliers and pull down and away, and we'll go ahead and run that out. So a great way to tell if you are putting too much pressure on your glass cutter is if the blood leaves your fingers and you start shaking like this, okay? That tells me that you're doing what I call standing on the glass cutter. Not physically standing on it, but you're putting so much pressure on it, you might as well have your whole body on it. So here we go. I just want you to hear this. I don't need to depress the head. I already know how much pressure I need to cut the glass. So here, let's listen to this. It's very light, delicate, and then we'll just take this and we'll pop that. Just like that. Now, this is what I've always told y'all, is if you get the piece of glass that's too narrow here, then your running pliers aren't going to work. Sometimes you may have to go in a little bit deeper on it in order to get that jaw the way you need it, so that it will run out for you like that, okay? Just like that. So we've got to do something because we need to square this up. So those of you that are just learning how to use your square, the reason that I keep my middle finger against the edge of the glass cutter like this, right there, is so that when I'm using my square, I use that finger to push it against the square in order to keep everything in line and keep it in check. So that we'll take our running pliers. So if you guys, if you'll go on with your running pliers, not quite all of the rubber that's on the jaw, but probably 3/4 of it, you'll find that you can just click that right off. And now we've squared this up. These pieces of glass will go in this month's box. And the next thing I'm going to share with y'all, and I have to because, I can't find the number on this glass, but does that remind you of Easter or what? Look at how beautiful pink that glass is.
Did you give them the number on the other one?
Yeah, that was a 329
No.
2S.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a 329. But this is a pink. This glass right here is about $40 a square foot. And so that means this little piece of pink right here is $10. But because it's a Spectrum, guess what? It just cuts. So sweet, so easy. Let's see if we can just start the run and not finish it. There it is, right there. Can you see that? There's your run right there. Starts right here and goes right there. And now we can reach in with our grousers and you get, see the run right there. I'm gonna get behind it so I can show you that I'm behind it right there, just like that. And now I'm just gonna put my middle finger up against the grousing pliers, my thumb's out here, and all the weight is laying right here, right there against my index finger and between my thumb. I'll pull this down like this, and I'm using my hand, not the pliers. Ready? Down and away, down and away. And if you'll do that, a lot of things will happen. But if you're gonna stand on your glass cutter, the one thing that is gonna happen is your glass is not gonna break correctly. So we're gonna square this up and listen to it. Here we go. That is just the ultimate 8 pounds of pressure. And we have to square this back up. So here we go, just like this. And there it is. That's a beautiful pink piece of glass on a white piece of paper. And then this reminds me of Easter right here. You know why? Because I used to like to make Easter eggs that color.
And it matches your sleeves.
Yeah, it matches my sleeves.
Yeah.
It's pretty close. And so I tell you all a story about Easter while we're cutting this glass. So this is a Spectrum again too. This is a 376.1 because it's a transparent. So what we're going to do is we're just going to listen to this right here. Again, I don't have a cutter head that's depressing. Here we go. Just like that. Bring it down, bring it off, consistent. And remember, like we talked about, look how pretty that is. Like we talked about last week, if you're standing up and you're cutting, and when you get to the edge of your score, your hand is hitting your belly like that. When you're scoring your glass, y'all, as you're coming down, take a half a step back with your feet, a half a step, and continue. So like if I'm putting that up there, I'm going to make up my half a step this way because I'm sitting down. So I'm just, instead of it being right here, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to come down. And you see that? I'm not leaning, I'm not hitting myself, but I did come off of the glass correctly. And I have enough room that my pressure stayed the same from front to back. Just like that. And another way, again, like we talked last week, you can tell if you're pushing too hard on your glass cutter, is that the edges won't look like that. That's for sure. They won't be clean. So there's my 3 colors for Easter, everyone. I do want to say Happy Easter to everybody. And as you work through your Easter week, and work through your religion, it's all good.
Okay. Let's see here.
No.
I got some questions for you.
Okay. Yes.
And Ray's
Ray.
filling everybody in on the different links. Thank you, Ray.
We
all
Ray.
Appreciate that. Okay, Pauline wants to know if you can put depression glass in the kiln. I wouldn't put that in the kiln. That's, what is it got in it?
The uranium.
The uranium glass in the kiln. I wouldn't put that in the kiln.
Well, that's the depression glass. Yeah, right.
But yeah, with uranium it's depression glass. But there's other depression glass that doesn't have uranium in it.
Right.
So, but I wouldn't put the uranium one in. But the other ones you should be able to do it. You just got to take it up real slow, real slow.
Real slow. Yeah, real
slow. Other questions, Cindy? Vicky wants to know, you mentioned too much pressure on the cutter. Do all heads on the cutters depress to indicate the proper amount of pressure?
They don't indicate anything, but it is the amount of pressure that it takes to depress the head is about 8 pounds of pressure. It's not an exact science, but the amount of pressure that it takes to depress that head is about 8 pounds.
Yeah. So if you practice with, you can put that on a scale.
Exactly.
And just try it like that, a regular weighing scale, and just get some window glass and try it and see where you feel on that. You could use a regular cutter with a depression head
With a
and get the
spring head,
feel of it. But
if you're using,
not all of them have it.
yeah, not all cutters like this 2000 here. And we do another demonstration, I guess, and I'll pull out a head that depresses, but this one doesn't depress, and I'll just go ahead and put it away.
All right. Okay, we have another question.
Okay.
Cindy asks, I've made some glass chickens about 6 inches tall. I want to attach small rods on each side to put into a wood base. What is the best rod to use? Also attaching wire feet to the rod. Would love suggestions.
Because they're so small, I think what I would do is I would use the brass jewelry box hinge, the large part of the 2-part hinge. I make Christmas trees like that, and I run the jewelry box hinge up the back of the tree and stick them in wood. And they'll if you're gonna add feet to your chickens and everything, I think that the brass rod for your jewelry box hinges, the large part of it, would be a great pin to put attached to your chickens.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that
have
idea.
fun with that. They're little copper rods, and you can get them from Sunshine Glass.
Yep.
They're called jewelry box hinges.
Yep.
Okay, another question comes from, okay.
All these pink hands and high fives, I like those things. They're kind of
I
cool.
thought I had another question. There's one. The chickens. Okay, I guess that's that. Mary Beth said they've had 3 shows in 6 weeks.
Wow. You and Frank are busy.
Thank you, Mary Beth and Frank, for the compliment. We've
Thank
had
you.
a lot of great compliments. Everybody loves the eggs. We have time for more questions. If you all would like to ask some more questions, please do.
Please.
Please answer questions. Yeah, we're a little bit, what are you looking for?
I was just looking for.
If you have a certain cut that you'd like Eddie to try, if it's something that we can do today, we'll be happy to do that for you, or he will be happy to do that for you.
I'll get Barb to do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. We'll be here for a little while, y'all.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm just looking for a cutter. I'm just looking for
1/8-inch brass welding rods from Harbor Freight to make plant stakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. What do you have to do? Wrap the copper foil around them?
No, because they're brass. Just solder right to them. Brass welding rods. They're brass. So
Oh,
you
good
just solder
idea.
right to them, yeah.
Okay, welding
And they're
rods are
probably
brass.
cheaper, they're definitely bigger, but they're less expensive. I think they're like 14 inches.
Oh, good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have a
Mary
Harbor
Beth.
Freight here in town.
And
too,
Frank?
so.
Okay, I guess Ed's going to do another.
Well, I wanted to just get another cutter out that has a spring-loaded head so that we can,
Okay, let's do it.
So the cutters that I have in my box here, in my bag, my shoe box, and my 100-year-old shoe shine box, the cutters that I have in there, the majority of them are depression heads, and so right now we're going to get out. This is our silver schnit. This is our 4000. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
What happened?
Carol said there must be more common mistakes than too much pressure.
Oh, there is, Carol.
Always measure twice and cut once. That's
right.
one of them.
Yeah, one
and
of
that's true. I know a lot of you.
Well, sometimes what'll happen is when you're cutting a textured glass and you go up on a hill, and when you come back down, sometimes your cutter wants to twist, and that's a common mistake that causes the glass to break erratically. And so there are a lot of little things in between. It's kind of like I relate to it like playing golf. Those guys that play golf for a living, there's a lot of stuff for them to remember before they hit that ball. And the same applies to you. There's a lot of things to remember when you pick up that glass cutter to actually make the score on your glass and make it come out correctly. So as long as you,
There's Christine's.
huh?
Go ahead.
As long as you, no, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Well, join
You
the
broke me
club.
up.
Join the club.
But anyway, so and Barbara had a good idea about the scale in your bathroom. 8 pounds of pressure is this. Let's listen to it. Ready? That's it. Listen. Is that picking up on the microphone? I think it is.
Okay, we've had a suggestion for a heart. And the question that we had was, could you please show us how you would cut a more detailed pattern piece? We have Christine, we have tons of cutting videos on our
on our website.
On
our YouTube
on our YouTube channel. Plus, we have lots of videos as well. So I would suggest just searching for that. But I think, are you going to cut a heart for us? I've had a suggestion for a heart.
It's April.
Okay. All right.
There are a couple of videos out there of that.
Whoops. There's a car
It's
out
just
front.
somebody walking their kids. When Barbara and I moved into this neighborhood, we were the youngest people in our neighborhood. And now we're not.
Okay.
We have lots of children around.
Okay. Ed said he doesn't want to cut a heart because it's Easter.
No,
Sorry.
whatever.
I do have a couple of heart cutting videos on our ARTyRV channel.
That's
Okay.
hearts are. So
Hearts are hard.
well, that's not that hearts are hard. They are for some people.
Yeah.
So they don't always come out, but there's a lot of people that have trouble cutting inside curves with points on them. And now, what you need to do, and this is what I tell people all the time. Number one is, if you're going to cut out a piece of glass on a pattern, give yourself about a 1/2 inch all the way around it. A lot of times, there's a little bit too much room on some of these that I've given it, but I'm going to use this glass, and we're going to square it up and eliminate a lot of the glass that we don't really need around this pattern. And if you'll do this, I'm going to depress the head. Here we go. If you'll depress the head, give yourself a 1/2 inch all the way around, like that. Just like that. So this piece here we go. Remember, so when we're cutting a pattern, we want to be just against that black line. Not this side of it, not on it, but against it. So I'm going to start out here because I'm going to try and keep all of these points if I can. I'm depressing the head. So, and remember, guys, this isn't, it's not a race from one end to the other. Here we go. Ready? So when you're cutting a pattern, what you want to see is you want to have that black line shown. Just like that. There's your black line. It's there. Okay? So let's move on to the next score. So our next score is going to be this piece right here. We're going to depress the head. Just like that. Okay, so now we started our run and it ran to right there. You can see it. I'm going to come back from the other direction and run it into itself. Now, I can't pull that out. You see me pulling it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my running pliers upside down. You see, they're upside down. That's right side up, upside down. We're going to just crack that one time, very light, and that'll come right out. Okay. So when you score something into something else, you can use your running pliers many different ways. And this is a good way to use them, is on these little spots like this. So this one will be a little bit tricky, and what I'm going to do in order to get these 2 points out is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go right to that tip. See that? I went right to that tip. Now we're going to break this
Come
up.
back over.
There we go. I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to eliminate that. And now we're going to dig in. Here we go. We're going to depress the head. So now this requires our grousers. And we're going to start this right here ever so slightly. And that's probably going to come back around. Hopefully I can keep that tip. But if I were pulling down on this side, I wouldn't be able to keep that tip. So I'm going to try and keep the tip. Hopefully I can just start the run. There it is. I've just started that run. Now I'm going to come back and we're going to run it back into itself. Now I've started it again. Now what do I do? It's running on both ends. Let's try it again. Let's run this back that way. There we go. Okay. So we've got that point right there. I'm not sure that I can keep all of that point, but y'all, just because it's you guys, I'm going to try. And I'm going to try really hard. So I'm going to do what's called a rainbow cut on this piece here. Okay, we're going to start that. And now we're going to take our grousers and we're going to jump in here like this. And you see how I'm holding everything. This transparent glass is great because you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. So now here we go. We're going to take this. Now, I'm probably going to lose one of these points. I hope I don't lose either one of them because that would make me feel better. So I'm going to try and we're going to pull down just a little bit right here. Okay, there's that. I'm going to take this out a little bit more. There we go. Actually, I got both points out. So now if I was doing this and putting this in copper foil, I have to clean this flare up because look at it. Hang on, I'll turn it sideways for you. See the flare on the point right there? That would have to be cleaned up, and your grinder takes care of that. It makes this everything perfectly 90 degrees. So as you take and do these scores, if you'll whittle some of this out, as you do it, your chances of success, even on a score like this, are very high. So keep that in mind as you're doing different scores, and you'll be happier with yourself and the amount of glass that you're using for your project once you learn how to whittle the glass away and eliminate some of the waste that you have around your piece of glass. But don't, guys, please don't put your pattern right on the very edge, because if you're trying to eliminate grinding your glass, one way to do it is to not put your pattern so close to the edge so that you end up having to chip away the Chippewa. So keep that in mind, guys. And I hope that helps you out a little bit. And
Thank you, Ed. That was very good.
It took some time though, but
That's all right. I have lots of questions, so.
so that's the one thing that I do want to share with you guys, and it's about the race thing. It's not a race to get it to see how fast you can cut it and all that stuff. What it is a race of getting the pieces of glass out that you've taken so much time to score and break with your pliers, hold with your hand, and all of that is all technique that you'll develop. I need to put this in a box here. Okay. Starting a new box for the month, guys, the month of April.
Okay, you ready to answer questions?
Let me clean my mess up. Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. How many Dennis wants to know how many practice cuts should I make before cutting the real thing?
Well, until you feel comfortable. I don't think I'd make a lot of practice cuts. I think that what you need to do is to you don't want to cut a window out twice. You just want to cut it one time. But you also want to practice a little bit. So what I would do is practice on your scrap glass, and whether you can practice on window glass or you're practicing on spectrum glass or whatever you have in the box that's just you're not going to use it. Most glasses, not all, but most glasses react the same way to your score.
Yeah, I would practice on small sun
pieces.
catcher patterns.
Yeah.
We just put up a new
that's
dogwood
right.
pattern
Yeah, we
this
did.
week. So if y'all want to do a little dogwood sun catcher for Easter, we have a little free pattern up. So you grab those free patterns and practice those cuts. And if you go through all those patterns, you'll know what kind of stained glass window you can build by looking at the different cuts.
Right, and you'll
So proceed
find
slowly.
my patterns, the patterns that Barbara puts on our website for us. My patterns are the same patterns that we use in our beginner class, and our beginner class, the patterns are designed to teach you how to cut glass, teach you how to cut inside curves, outside curves, straight lines using your square. So all of my patterns are designed to teach you those techniques.
Thank you, Ed. Texas Tom wants to know what's going on. He's using bullseye glass and it has a minor texture, and the cutter always wants to skip to the side.
That's what sliding.
Yeah.
Sliding.
Slippery.
Yeah, it's sliding. It's very. Tom, I'm trying to think of a simple way to tell you how to avoid that. The bullseye glass usually has it has a texture on the top, which is typically little bumps. If you'll slow down, Tom, I'm just thinking out loud, and I have said this in the past, that when you're cutting glasses that have texture on the top, water glass is really bad for doing that sliding. Slow down a little bit more, and then because you can feel yourself going up on that rise, and when you come usually at the top and starting going down is when your cutter wheel will turn sideways or slide, because you're pushing it down. So just slow down a little bit more and give yourself some time as you're moving your cutter through those little
But keep
ups
the
and
same
downs.
pressure.
But keep the same pressure if you can, Tom.
Okay. Yeah, Ray said focus on even pressure. Don't press too hard. Okay. Elizabeth, when do you know if you've burnished enough? And I think Ray answered that question. She thinks she may be overdoing it, but Ray answered the question. No air pockets or gaps. The foil should sit flush against the edges without lifting. Strong adhesive, it shouldn't shift or peel when handling the piece. Uniform shine.
A uniform shine, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long to do that. It doesn't take long at all to do
It
that.
should just lay flat.
Yeah.
And
And
shouldn't lift.
the burnishing, not only does it lay the copper foil flat and eliminate all of the wrinkles in it and folds, but it also makes the foil adhere to the glass because you're heating up the glue. So
Okay, for lead, is it best to use a heavy Sharpie to trace the pattern to accommodate the thickness of the lead?
I use the fine point Sharpie to what I call blacken in all of my patterns. And then I cut on either side of that line. And that is exactly what I need for my, to allow room for the heart of the lead caming.
Okay, Barbara Cadwell said that your advice about allowing a half an inch around the pattern it was a game changer. Trying to save glass by starting right at the edge doesn't always work.
Thank you, Barbara. You are so kind.
Okay, we got people giving advice. Pauline, that's the uranium glass is the glass that glows under a black light.
And it's typically green or yellow. I don't think the pink depression glass doesn't
glow.
Okay.
No, it'll be the yellow or the green.
You know what's so interesting about that depression glass is that it used to come in the boxes of soap powder, which was kind of neat.
I guess cutting accuracy, especially with freeform and curved shapes, comes with repeated practice.
It does.
It does.
It does.
It really does.
And it comes with the speed that you want to cut.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
Oh, Barbara, you're awesome, hon. Thank you. Boom, boom, boom. Did I get it going? Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. This is for you, Barb.
I am Alan says, I think I understand Ed's teaching so well because we're both left-handed.
That's right. You are left-handed. That's good.
Those lefties.
Oh, well, you know. Barbara, thank you so much. We appreciate it. So we'll be getting you guys an update next week on the project. We might even have a picture of the new air conditioner, and
Thank you, Barbara.
we'll have a picture of the
Yeah, I want to get out there and do some videos. I mean, we're not a home decor business, and I don't usually shoot those kind of videos, but I think it might be fun to show you all, you know, what we're doing
What's going on.
and what's going on.
It's exciting for us because we're growing, and we're having a lot of fun. It's not really like work because it's what we do anyway. So Barb and I, sharing our information and things with you guys is really pleasing to me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to. I think it's something for all of us to look forward to, coming together. It's hard to find a community this large. In my own community, we have very few glass artists. So some communities have a lot of people that
Right.
are involved with glass, but we're not so lucky here. So this really brings us a lot of joy.
It does, and you guys, you know, when we teach classes and you fly into Myrtle Beach from Wyoming or Minnesota or Illinois
Thank you, Carol.
or Florida or anywhere that y'all come
I
from
wish you did too.
to take one of our classes is just really exciting to me, and I enjoy meeting every one of you.
So are you sure you want to see all of our junk in our garage? 'Cause
You know, it's not too bad. It's really not. I was looking at it, you know.
Okay, for those of you that want to find the free pattern,
There you go, Carol.
that
Thank you.
is that is on the Conway Glass website, conwayglass.com. Just go to shopping and look for tools and patterns, and there's a bunch of free patterns on there. Very
There's
simple.
Five or six, right?
Yeah,
Seven?
very simple patterns, and we're trying to add one a week.
Yep.
Coming in 2025, ARTyRV is getting its own website, so that's pretty exciting news.
Yeah,
and
it
we'll
is.
let y'all know when that comes up. All the free patterns, you'll be able to go right to the ARTyRV website and get all the free patterns, and then we'll put the new videos up too. So if you want to, check out some new videos. You always go to the YouTube channel, but you can keep up to date with what's going on the website.
Right, and Barbara keeps. I have to say, y'all, Barbara keeps that up to date, so it's current.
Okay, yeah, plan a vacation around ARTyRV because we have a lot of things to do here. We'll also be updating the classes as soon as I get out of this little thing that I have.
Be
and
about
then
another 10 days.
Yeah, and then we'll have a month to start organizing for the late summer and fall and winter classes.
So
we'll keep you up to date on that.
Right. So we're thinking about publishing another cutting and soldering weekend workshop. So we're gonna be publishing that. We have a beginner class the end of this month, the third weekend in April, right? Weekend after next.
Yes, that one's full, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll be getting some other classes, and then I'm having my hip replaced on June 23rd, Monday.
Yeah, Lisa said there are tons of free patterns out there. Yeah, there are. There are tons of free patterns. There's no sense in
don't buy them.
Don't buy patterns. In fact, there's a lot of. Well, I don't say don't buy patterns. You're going to have to buy patterns.
You're going to have to buy patterns.
If you're learning to cut glass, just grab up all the free patterns you can.
And if you look at, guys, if you look at the patterns that are online, it doesn't matter whether you pay $1 for them or they're free or whatever. If you look at them and study them, you'll see they're all designed around teaching you how to cut glass correctly. Michael, thank you so much. We appreciate that very much. Thank you, Michael.
Thank
McBride.
you, Michael.
We appreciate that very much.
I'm not sure. Is that a question, Lisa? How to break the compulsion to force scraps together into abstract sun catchers instead of designing and using the tons of sheet glass I have. I already have.
How to stop doing it? Don't stop. Just keep doing it.
Well,
those
instead
pieces
of
are pretty.
abstract, make sun catchers that have designs to them.
Right. My father used to make, before he passed away, in his downtime at the shop, which there really wasn't that much, but he would take scrap glass, and all he would do is grind it. He wouldn't cut anything or whatever, and he would put it together. And some of those pieces were so pretty that he used to make. I wish I still had some.
Yeah, don't feel bad about that. It teaches you a lot about design.
And
it teaches
construction.
you construction, and and you might want to think about taking those pieces and making them 3D. And it also teaches you a lot about color, what colors look good together, and things like that. So
and eventually you'll have colors that you never ever dreamed of would look good together, because you're going to be like, what in the world? How come that looks so good?
This is true. Okay. I think that we've gone over a little bit. We're going to talk about the mistakes again next week because we run out of time. We've got 12 mistakes
We got
here.
12 mistakes.
And also I put up the video. So, there's...
So tomorrow we're going to be, Barb and I are, we're going to be out of pocket all day tomorrow for sure. Yeah. Wednesday's going to be a iffy day.
For the shop. He doesn't know if he's going or not.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be at the, I'm pretty sure I'll be at the shop on Wednesday because, because our grandson's here and he can check in on Barb every now and then and make sure she's
I'll be sleeping.
She'll be sleeping. But hopefully when she wakes up, she will be a new woman. So. I know, but I have a whole list of people that I have to call and text tomorrow. So, and
okay,
guys, thank you for your prayers. Prayers tonight for Barb. Everything's going to be fine.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
Thank you so much for coming in. Have a great week this week, and we will see you next Monday at 7 o'clock. Those that are watching on the rerun, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on the rerun.
That's right. So, hey, guys, for the ARTyRV channel, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.